Episode 4 begins with a scene from 3 years ago, where Hae-gang used to run his gambling den. He comes up to Kyung. He shows him the VIP list, who all is going to come here. Among them is a yakuza from Japan. Hae-gang says, "Fine, you take care of him." We see the yakuza who had arrived here, but Big Brother is in front of him. He thought he was some troublemaker and tells him to leave. But just then his friends come. They explain that he's a VIP. Then he has to apologize. The friends had brought the yakuza inside, but just then the yakuza's enemy comes here. He has several men with him who had come to kill the yakuza. The yakuza's people fight all of them. The yakuza does the same, but he can't hold out for long. He's about to be killed. But just then Hae-gang comes at the right time and saves him. The men ran off from here. The yakuza says to Hae-gang, "Why did you save me? You don't even know me." Hae-gang had said, "Because you're my customer." The yakuza says, "Now we're brothers. Someday I'll repay your debt." The yakuza is interested in heritage items. We come to the present, where they all start delivering products again. Hae-gang talks to Hari and says, "I know that in all this you have the biggest role." Hari says, "I don't follow." Then Hae-gang is explaining. Hari recalls, "The children who were earlier filming Hae-gang, I came to them and said that doing that is wrong. You should show the whole thing, how it all happened." She takes the SD card from their phone, comes to the security guard and says, "The whole story is in here. You can post it." We see Kyung, who is watching the news of his city, which is Homa Newtown, that has been approved for the project. Then he was thinking about Hae-gang. He calls President Gang-woon and says, "Hae-gang is getting on my nerves. He can't become president. You'll have to keep this in mind." We see Hae-gang and his family, who come home to rest. They were eating. But just then, Yoon calls him. He tells him, "You don't need to deliver the products anymore, because the delivery man has said he'll take the truck all the way inside." The family members say, "The residents were happy to have deliveries done for them. We don't know how all this suddenly happened. We'll have to do something more to win the residents' hearts." Insik says, "You should go to everyone and give them your greetings." Hae-gang and Hari then do exactly that. Hari says to Hae-gang, "We'll go to the place where the mothers gather." Then we see them come to a café, where Mina looks at Hae-gang and says, "You're very handsome." Hari arrives here too. Hae-gang calls her honey. At first she doesn't hear it. Then Hae-gang shouts, "Honey!" Hari comes up to him. Mina sees the two of them together and says, "Your pairing is very nice." They start asking questions about their relationship. How did you meet for the first time, and how did you fall in love? How old is your child? They somehow handle the questions. However, there's one scene left here. Before they arrived, the women were talking to Yoon and saying, "You've become our representative too. Congratulations for that. You should come forward for president." But she refuses, and she recalls, "I was at home. My husband came and said, 'What is all this? Give up becoming a representative. Stay home and work as a housewife.'" We see Hae-gang and Hari who come to the park, where the two of them talk about this. If someone asks us where the two of us met for the first time, how we fell in love, what answers will we have to give? Hari explains everything to him. Hae-gang gives her some bonus and says, "You'll have to feed Gangbok." Hari then messages and pushes him on a swing. In the next scene, we see that all the representatives are about to have a meeting. Before going, Hae-gang talks to Insik, where he tells him what he has to do there. Then everyone is at the meeting. Gang-woon comes before everyone. The employees start saying, "We like you. You should become president again." Yoon says, "Is there anyone else who wants to become president?" At first, no one raises their hand, but then Hae-gang does. They say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" He nods. Yoon also wants to raise her hand, but can't. Then Gang-woon and his people talk and say, "What should we do now? If this keeps up, he'll become president soon, because the residents here like him." We see Hae-gang, who is out doing the delivery work. Suk-jin comes here too. He wants to take her things as well, but she refuses and says, "I have my own hands." But just then, there are two delivery men nearby who watch Hae-gang closely. In the next scene, Gang-woon's people talk to them. They give them money to get their work done. But just then, they spot Hae-gang on the president's list and say, "That's him, isn't it? The boss of the Oasis gang." Gang-woon says, "Is that true?" They nod. In the next scene, an announcement is made that the representatives' meeting will be held again. Hae-gang starts saying to In-sik, "What is all this? Why is there a meeting?" In-sik says, "I don't know. A meeting isn't held unless there's some emergency." Hae-gang says, "Do I have to go?" He nods. In the next scene, we see everyone holding a meeting, where Gang-woon starts saying, "There's someone who has deceived us and who wasn't worthy of becoming anything." They say, "Who is it? He'll have to be thrown out." Then he names Hae-gang and says, "We found out that you're the boss of the Oasis gang, so is it true?" Hae-gang goes quiet. Everyone was watching this live. Hari watches too and says, "Now he's been caught." Hae-gang then says, "Yes, it's true, but now I've retired." He wants to say some more, but the mic had already been switched off. In the next scene, he comes to his family where Hari and says, "Why didn't you say anything? You should file a case against them. How can they say such things about your past?" But he calms Hari down and says to his friends, "Find out how they learned that I'm the boss of the gang." Hae-gang wants to do more work for the employees. He comes into the lift, but now everyone is afraid of him. He wants to deliver their things, but no one wants to have it done. Suk-jin sees too how the residents are ignoring him. Then she brings him over to her and says, "I don't like you. I really did graduate from there, but you turned it into a scandal." Hae-gang says, "We were also delivering with all our heart, but you ruined everything too." Then she says to him, "You can't do anything alone. Many people work with Gang-woon. You won't be able to face them. Come with me." In the next scene, we see her bring him to her team, where people were already protesting. There's a demand to transfer Oman Station to True Value Estate. Hari comes to the café to help Hae-gang, but the women start saying all sorts of things about her. Meanwhile, we see the protesters who come to a restaurant to eat, where the women start saying, "How can we get Oman Station transferred? If old remains are found there, then perhaps it could be possible." Hae-gang gets an idea. Then he runs off. He comes straight home. He says to his friends, "The two of you, go to Japan." Then they do exactly that. The two of them come to the yakuza in Japan. Hae-gang makes a video call to the yakuza and says, "I need the remains." The yakuza takes the remains in his hand, but Hae-gang says, "This is fake. Bring the real one." After he leaves, the friends start saying, "How did you know?" Hae-gang says, "He had been holding those remains without gloves." The yakuza then brings the real remains. In the next scene, we see everyone come to protest with Suk-jin. Hae-gang's family is here too. Hae-gang brings food for the women, but something was dropped and it falls. Then he starts shouting. Suk-jin comes to see what happened, and here she spots the remains. She says, "This is very old. Call the media quickly." Hae-gang recalls a scene. "At night, my family had dug pits and put the remains here." In the next scene, the news comes about what happened at Oman and how many remains were found here. Hae-gang comes on TV too. He tells how he was running along but bumped into this thing. Hae-gang's family watches this news. Hae-gang says, "This is exactly what I wanted, for people to keep talking about this and forget the talk about my being a gang boss. And that's exactly what happened here." Meanwhile, we see Kyung, who was solving his puzzle. He wants to place the last piece here, but there's very little space. Kyung says, "This can't go here." He becomes very angry. He ruins the whole puzzle again. We see Gang-woon and his employees where they say, "The residents are with Hae-gang. Now they consider him the hero of the remains. If this keeps up, he'll win." In the next scene, we see the vote for president take place, and Hae-gang wins. At night, we see Gang-woon come into his office, but Kyung is in front of him. Gang-woon drops to his knees and says, "Forgive me, I tried very hard but I couldn't defeat him." But Kyung is very angry. He takes his nameplate and starts hitting him on the head with it. Outside is Young-jae, who hears their voices. At night, Hae-gang had come out to hang out too, but he sees Kyung in front of him, who was coming toward him. Hae-gang sees that there's blood on his clothes. He explains, "I was just coming back from somewhere, where I did this with my own hands." By the way, you've become president. Congratulations for that. Hae-gang starts to leave, but he stops him and says, "We'll meet again." Hae-gang watches him leave, and the episode came to an end.